This woman had just gotten back from walking her dog. Her doorbell camera shows her starting to take off the dog's leash when she looks over to the right, causing her to quickly pick up her dog and get inside. Immediately, we find out why. A man comes into frame and walks right up to the front door. He tries the handle, but she managed to lock it just in time. The man then starts putting on gloves, and she also mentioned how he was carrying zip ties. He looks into the house and tries the door handle multiple more times within the next few minutes. Eventually, her neighbor comes outside. To this, the man picks up a nearby garden hose and acts like he's doing yard work. Once the neighbor left, the man walks around to the house's back door.
Camera recording.
He tried forcing the back door open, to which the homeowner locked herself in a room and called the police. In the time it took them to arrive, the man tried breaking in almost every window to the house. He broke off the screen to one of the back windows, but was ultimately unsuccessful at getting inside. By the time police arrived, he had left. There wasn't much the police could do by that point. The homeowner ended up posting the video to TikTok in the hopes that someone could identify the man. As far as I could find, no one could.
Ghost caught on camera.
This group photo was taken at a hotel in Austria. A man set up his camera on a timer, but when it went off, there was no flash. So he set up the camera for a second shot. Do you notice the difference? I'm gonna show you the first photo again. This time, pay attention to the middle of the table. It shows either a man or a woman dead center. If you look closely, you can tell that this person is not a part of the group. The body and head are too large and almost appears in front of the others as if it was in the center of the table. One of the group members noticed the difference when they got the pictures developed. Photo experts determined it was not the result of double exposure.
Hey y'all, Myra here. So this footage is either the greatest Bigfoot footage ever found or it's a hoax. First, backstory, it was released in 2021 by NVTV. They stated that this is a sighting out of Idaho. I don't have the story behind who recorded it, where they were. I just know they were in the state of Idaho. Tell me what you guys think. Is this real? Is this phenomenal footage of a Bigfoot, or is this a man in a suit? Now, there's one thing I want to key into because I am on the fence about this one, but the arm length. The arm length is a dead giveaway whether it's a man in a suit or if it's a true Bigfoot. These arms are very long. The hands, when you see it move, it like has that kind of curve. That is very telling. That lets me know it's more likely to be a real sighting. But you tell me, like, post, comment, repost. Let me know what you think. Is this real or not? Is this an amazing footage of a Bigfoot? Don't forget to follow me on YouTube and TikTok.
So the government essentially confirmed that aliens exist?
No, they didn't. They confirmed that the United States has recovered, and I quote, non-human biologics from alleged crash sites. And that the United States is in possession of UAPs, which is their modern term for UFOs. That said, if a drone that someone slapped together that the United States cannot identify crashes and hits a bird, and they take the bird corpse, that is a UFO and non-human biologics. I should also point out that this kind of thing tends to come out often when the government is on some other hot nonsense that they do not want being at the top of the news.
As the plane soared above an unfamiliar region in China, a passenger gazed out of the window, capturing a captivating video. A sense of awe and curiosity filled the air as the passenger's camera focused on a peculiar sight, a disc-shaped object, about the size of a small car, effortlessly gliding in parallel to the airplane, near one of its wings. The crispness of the video allowed the viewer to perceive the details of the disc distinctly. As seconds passed, an intriguing occurrence took place. The mysterious object seemed to activate a device of some sort, creating a mesmerizing effect. Space and time itself appeared to fold around the disc, as if the laws of physics were being bent to its will. The passenger's video captured the surreal moment in all its glory, a testament to an encounter that defied conventional understanding. As the object sped away from the aircraft, its velocity accelerated to a staggering 24,000 miles per hour, leaving an indelible impression on the mind of the witness.
Hey y'all, Maya here. So take a look at this footage. This is some of the best footage I've come across of what looks to be like a Russian Yeti. This was taken in Russia by a group of hunters. The backstory is that they were out hunting. This is actually the second part of a extremely long video. They were tracking it, or they were being tracked in a woodsy kind of area, and they were hearing noises and sounds, and they just felt like something was watching them. As they're moving on and moving out of that area and get into this open area, this is what they capture. And y'all, I think it's real. I definitely think, I couldn't understand what they were saying in the video, but you could hear the tone and the fear in their voices as they were speaking and recording this thing. Tell me what you think. Like, post, comment, repost. If this is not a hoax, this is the best footage of a Russian Yeti ever captured on film.
In this footage has just committed the most horrifying crime that would leave the community and an entire country reeling with shock.
This is beyond shock. It's got me shaking just thinking about it, that something like this could happen.
But what led her to do something so evil? Let's look into the case of the 6-year-old that was murdered and dropped on a mom's yard. On Tuesday, April 25th, 2023, at around 9:45 p.m., a man by the name of Michael Fontenelle arrived at his home in Herrin, Louisiana, where he lived with his long-term girlfriend, 43-year-old Hannah Landon, and his 2 daughters. He had been working late that day and was exhausted, so he just went straight to bed. The next morning, he woke up around 7 a.m. and decided to go check on his daughters before going to work. His older 7-year-old daughter was sleeping peacefully in her bed, but her younger sister Bella was not there. Where could she have gone so early in the morning? Did she even sleep at home that night? The girl's bed was still made, meaning that she hadn't slept there. Maybe she even hadn't come home at all from school the previous day. The first thought that crossed Michael's mind was that his ex-wife and the mother of his daughters, Jennifer Zeledin, had taken Bella. Jennifer lived a couple of blocks away from them, and the two had custody wrangles over the years that had even involved the police. So it was not surprising that she would want to keep his daughter away from him. But before jumping into any conclusion, Michael wanted to check with his live-in girlfriend Hannah to see if his daughter came home the previous day. Michael and Hannah had been together for quite some time, and although they were not married, she was like his daughter's stepmother and seemed to really care about them. This picture shows Hannah holding Bella, and they both seem very happy. This one shows Hannah and Bella dressed like princesses, and they appear to have a really good relationship. This morning, however, Michael realized that he had also not seen Hannah, and she didn't come home last night. So where was she? Was she with Bella? Worried that something bad might have happened to both his girlfriend and his little girl, Michael went to Herrin Police Department and reported them missing. But nothing could have prepared him for the horror that was about to unfold. The police arrived at Michael's home at around 7:45 a.m., and after interviewing Michael and the remaining daughter, they went over to Bella's mother's home to see if she knew anything about her missing daughter and stepmom. Jennifer and Hannah didn't really like each other and had made it clear over the years that they would never get along. So when the police went to Jennifer's house, they suspected she might know something about the whereabouts of her daughter and Hannah. They arrived at the house at around 8:20 a.m., and the first thing they noticed was a large plastic bucket conspicuously sitting on the front lawn of the house. The bucket was suspicious enough to make the police want to know what was in it, and as they carefully approached,
the next disaster is coming. The time to get ready is now. Make a plan. Identify meetup locations and people you'll need to contact. Put your contact list in your wallet, on your phone, and somewhere visible in your home. Build a kit. Store enough food and water for 3 days. Don't forget your pets. and consider buying a premium kit. Keep at least 7 days of medication on hand.
Sit back here with me, man. How are you? Hey, good afternoon. I'm Trooper Nielsen, Louisiana State Police. The reason why I stopped you was for speeding. You know how fast you're going?
No, sir.
73 and a 55, so it's 18 over the limit. Do you have your driver's license?
No, sir.
Do you have a driver's license?
No, sir.
And why are you driving?
I was just
okay.
Going home.
Do you have any weapons on you?
No, sir.
It's okay. I was just asking. What's your name, man?
Michael.
Michael what?
Mitchell.
Michael Mitchell. How old are you, Michael?
I'm 18.
Okay, Michael Mitchell. M-I-C-H-A-E-L?
A-E-L.
M-I-T-C-H?
E-L-L.
What's your date of birth?
1602.
Is anybody with you?
No, sir. It's just me.
You have insurance? All right, show me your insurance. Whose car is this, man? Your big brother's? You smoking weed today? Look at me.
I did earlier. I'm not high right now.
Okay. All right, we'll take a look at you. Do you have an ID? You have any ID? Is there any weed in the car, man? Don't stop. Step here. Step here to me. Look at me, Michael. Make eye contact with me. Step out here. Step up here. Is there any weed in the car? Yes or no?
It's just a doobie in the ashtray, like.
Okay.
Other than that,
anything else?
Dizzy.
All right. You be honest with me, I'll be honest with you. I ain't looking for no roach. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything else in there?
Yes, sir. I promise.
Okay, it's in the ashtray? In that cup thing?
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When did you puff last?
This was
be honest. Because I'm a drug recognition expert.
About an hour ago.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna look at you. But all right, where are you headed right now?
I was headed back home.
Okay. Where's home? What's your address? No, stop. Come here. Where do you live? It's easy. It's easy to answer this. Where do you live? You don't know how to drive to your house?
I was coming from there, how I got lost.
So what's the address?
I'm home for. No.
What? You don't know your address?
No, sir.
Okay, come back here. Come back here. All right. Prop up on this bumper right here, okay? Just sit down right here, okay? All right?
41.
All right. You've admitted there's a small amount of marijuana in the car, and I've smelled it. It's probable cause. Can I take a look in your car? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right. But there's nothing else in there? No weapons? Nothing? Okay. It's your brother's car? Is your brother's car?
This person did not eat it, but if you guys do end up finding a foaming watermelon, make sure that you just throw it in the trash.
Karens usually think they're immune to consequences, but what happens when these same entitled Karens get arrested? These are 3 of the most shocking and satisfying examples of when evil Karens realize they've been arrested. Starting with Sarah Boone, who was accused of killing her husband Jorge by locking him in a suitcase and leaving him to die. Sarah was quickly brought in for interrogation to determine if she was really as evil as they think.
So he had some injuries to his left shoulder. He had a cut near his lip. You could see his mouth was a little
I haven't laid a
swollen.
hand on him.
Okay. What about the scratches? Because there's also sex.
Yes.
Okay. Because there's also like a scratch on the back of his neck. Kind of but it's going straight across.
I have no idea what that's from. In all honesty, we have not gotten into it.
Okay.
That's why, the only thing I thought you guys were going to ask me about, which I was going to be honest with you anyway, are the scratch marks on his back.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, I have no idea what it is.
Yesterday, when we took photographs of your overall body, and they did the buccal swabs, did they go under your fingernails?
No.
Okay. Are you willing to let us
absolutely
swab underneath your fingernails?
Go for it.
Okay.
It seems like an odd request to ask if they can swab underneath Sarah's fingernails, but it could actually go a long way in determining how Jorge got these injuries. Since the injuries were fresh, it's a strong possibility that forensics could find dried blood or skin cells underneath Sarah's fingernails, which would put her dead to rights. But unfortunately for Sarah, they have some other evidence that took a lot less effort to find.
Do I have to watch this? I continuously throw up. I don't sleep. I don't want to see it, if that's okay.
Well, it's on your phone, and you can either explain it or we take it for what it is.
Yeah. We're just trying to give you the opportunity to tell us what's going on. That's it.
For everything you've done to me. Fuck you.
And
Fuck you.
That's you. It's your voice.
Stupid. That's my name. Don't wear it up.
I don't want to watch it, please.
The video showed Jorge in the suitcase begging to be let out while Sarah taunted him from the outside. The police couldn't have asked for a better piece of evidence, especially as it came directly from Sarah's own phone.
So this is upside down. So in order for him to have gotten into it,
it was flipped up.
Right. It was flipped up normal.
Yes.
Like as if you're packing something. So this is upside down.
Guys, this is killing me right now.
Sarah is obviously trying to maintain her innocence by telling the detectives that the video is distressing to her. But does that really sound like a woman who's being shown a video of her husband dying? While everybody will have a different reaction to trauma, it's difficult to imagine her reaction is a single deadpan sentence that sounds like it was delivered only to show some amount of concern to the cops.
Creepiest Places on Earth, Part 58. Wait for it. If you know, you know. What happened here?
So what is happening in the ionosphere to allow this control to take place? Ionospheric heaters use this D layer in the ionosphere. Notice it only forms in the daytime when the sun is up. At nighttime, it disappears completely, and the ionosphere is 170 miles up, and the ionospheric heaters cannot control the jet stream with that being so high up. But in the daytime, it's only 30 miles up. So here's a look at the hardware that's actually working out in the Pacific to destroy hurricanes and push warm air into the Arctic. This is the SBX-1 main transmitter unit, and off on the left here you can see it's not a little doll or Barbie figure, it's a grown man. This is a really huge, terrible piece of hardware. That giant flat plate array transmitter is placed inside of a fabric radome, and this is a picture during assembly inside the radome. Each one of these little wedges is a transmit-receive module which transmits about 200 watts. So there are 45,000 transmit-receive modules, and this antenna can detect an object the size of a baseball at a range of 2,500 miles. That is why I say this thing can project all that power into a pinpoint beam, totally computer controlled. The dome is 120-foot diameter. The power source is 6 3.6 megawatt generators for a total of almost 22 megawatts. And this HARP platform has a tow ship to move it around. So that 22 megawatts is not actually designed to go into the engines. That is designed to go into the transmitter unit. Other U.S. Navy ships have powerful microwave transmitters. This is the U.S. Navy ship Howard O. Lorenzen. It looks small, but it's actually 534 feet long. Each phased array, the boxes on the top of the deck, is a phased array transmitter. Synthetic aperture radar, whatever you want to call it, weighs 250 tons. And there's a crew of 88 on board. This is a gigantic ionospheric heater, again, in a different format.
This is not real. Nobody is real. You're dreaming. Wake up, wake up, wake up.